Hey, welcome back to another episode of A to Z, you guys. It's me, Zero Rimson. I'm going to be your resident yang, and below me to my right is going to be the man, Aaron Chase, your resident yin. You know, me, the positive, the light, the airy fairy, him, the realist, the actual, the not narcissist, nepotist, you know, all that jazz.
Yep.
And you might notice that things are a little bit different today on my side of things, that my background is in my bedroom. That's because we got a special guest. Guys, put your hands together that are not here for Dro by the Key. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And Aaron is fighting a fly. So, this is another, there's a couple of running things that are always happening. And one is definitely that, like, sometimes Aaron is against the elements of being in a garage. Like, there'll be a bug. Was it last episode that your grandma came through? Like, we had another guest star.
2 episodes.
Yeah, it's a great time.
The fuck you do?
All right, so we should probably introduce you.
So what am I?
Who is this
the
person?
third yin yang person?
No. Nobody no.
Yeah.
You're not gonna no.
Dom.
Stop
I got
it,
it.
please.
Dang.
You're ruining the show. Anywho, so this is Dro by the Key. This is my best friend and roommate. Met him back in college. He is a producer. He makes a lot of music. If you guys listen to the A to Z mixtape that we released a little while back, you can check it on the Buddy System channel. He produced it. He mixed it. Had were you all the beats on that one?
That one, yeah. This is actually, I think on this one I am too, except one of them that we were lucky enough to get all the stems for.
Yeah. Okay. So, Aaron, tell me about this project. So, Aaron's been working on another music project. It was in the works. It's behind the scenes. Spoilers for those. It hasn't come out yet, but I think it should be or something. You guys are working that out.
Should be soon.
So, what was the thought behind that project? What is the thought about the project that's coming out? Or what's it called? Just give me the whole rundown of what you wanted to do with it.
After we did A to Z, I was like, oh, okay, that now we understand our flow. There's some synergy going on. I think we were actually pretty efficient about it. And we understood how to work with each other a little better. So I was like, all right, let's see what happens with a full album. And Zero, I know that you like to take more time in between things, and and so I was like, let's just try to do a full album. So I hit up some other musicians that I knew because I didn't want it to just be me. And we started on that. And then what ended up happening is what always ends up happening, which is,
Would you guys like to give, tell me your individual experiences with this type of thing? So, like, not specifically this project, even though this is one. Aaron has talked about the buddy system.
Yeah.
This is a thing we're finding more and more with working with people.
I know this is a pet peeve of Aaron, and I remember this was like his vetting process when I think you introduced just the idea of maybe me possibly working with him.
Yeah.
And Aaron was very like, most of what I was hearing like through you is like, this guy doesn't think you're gonna do shit. This guy thinks you're gonna marry him, and then you're gonna fuck the neighbor, and you're gonna leave.
Yeah, you a boy of working on projects.
Yeah, boys. Isn't that weird? It's a little like dating. Like, we just keep running into fuck boys, and we're like, oh, that's a good time. You're gonna commit, right?
And then they ghost you. Yeah.
I was very much like, Dro's not going to follow through. And then when you started, by the way, first time interacting like this.
Oh yeah, you guys have never seen each other like interact.
Oh, I thought about that too. I think this is like the first time you heard my voice, probably too.
It's weird.
Yeah, because you don't like to. Aaron, little insider tip about Aaron, you guys. He only sends voice messages. He refuses to text anything. It doesn't matter how little the thing is. He'll send you a thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
That's like it. Like, I'll press it, I'll record. And so, like, his voice is like the one consistent thing throughout all the message chats.
You can't screen cap the voice. That's how Chris D'Elia got caught up. You can't screen cap the voice.
He's ahead of the game. Like, he ain't trying to get got out here.
That's funny. No, I mean, I use the voice to text, but that's, yeah, I don't know why. I feel it's kind of weird to send over my voice and just, I have a relationship with my voice. Everybody does. I'm pretty sure 99% of the people on earth are not very comfortable with how they sound. True. So that's like part of it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just faster and easier, and you can hear my tone, so you know you understand what I'm expressing better.
I can read your mood very well through this stuff. I know when you're there's a lot of and sometimes, yeah, but it's funny, and it is a lot quicker, and I think it is a more efficient way to communicate, because I do kind of like, when something is more pressing and important to you, I can hear it.
Yeah. But unfortunately, like, so we started doing the project. It was kind of moving along, and the dudes that I hit up, who are immensely talented musicians. That's the thing.
Definitely. Yeah, it is always the Achilles heel of great art or talent, that in doing so, it's kind of like whenever anything is given to people in general, it's like there's a very rare overlap of circles of it was given to you without having to work hard, and the drive to want to like get it done. And so some of the most talented people that I know, and I assume to both, it's like they don't want to do stuff because like everybody's already like, you're awesome and amazing, and they kind of can feel it. So it's like it rarely has that, where people who have to work harder at it, like there's a more respect for the art because you had to pull yourself up. And like you're like, oh, if I can get to here, then I can get to above.
And when it comes to, this is the hard part about it, is like, it was kind of, there was a lot of me kind of being like, all right, guys, come on. Like how it always is, nothing new.
Yeah.
And I don't mind doing that. It's just part of my personality. And I understand that running anything or organizing anything, you're going to have to do that. But then George Floyd happened, and it was like, this project's done. There's no way.
Yeah, we were talking about this too, which again is controversial. But one of our things, or I don't want to pull you into mine. Just trying to separate myself with this thing.
That is a running joke. Every time we're about to say something, it's kind of like, it's like
we got the Twitter, we got to cancel you. But no, the thing we've been talking about is like, yes, the George Floyd, all the protests, COVID in general, all that stuff, very serious. I could see where it would mess with your mental. But we always have the idea is like, why would that stop? Got backed out. You know how it is.
Wait. Why would it stop what? And then you went pro.
Yeah. Okay.
I've always been on to like, why would you not use that for the art? Like for your thing. I get taking a mental break again. Like you get stressed out, taking that second. But I don't understand it stopping an entire project. And one of the things, go ahead. I said you go ahead.
Oh, okay. The reason it stopped it was that, all right, I'll do the other musicians that I'll do myself personally. So the other musicians, it was already kind of hard to like get them to answer and respond and send things. It was already kind of difficult. And then this happened, and it was like, it is going to be impossible. It is not going to be possible after this.
Yeah.
And then for me personally, mentally and emotionally, I was in one headspace, and then it all changed. Like it completely changed. And if I were to start a project now, it was like I was going for Mac Miller, and then and now I run the jewels mentality. And so completely different.
Yeah, I get you. And that would have clashed if you tried to fuse it with whatever you were already working with. Yeah, I get that. And that's I guess where my thing was coming from was more towards the other artists, where it's like you were already not doing it, and you're clearly using this as an excuse to continue not doing it. like it's like all of a sudden like that. It's like now it's like I couldn't because life and all that stuff, and then this happenstance, and they're like, now I really can't do it, and it's like you weren't really gonna, but okay, and that does suck. So
I really want to be clear. I don't dislike. I'm not upset at the other musicians or anything. Like I've accepted this through the. I mean, Zero, we've talked about this. I don't know how many times, and you live with Dro, so I'm sure you guys gossip and drink wine together. But like, I've just come to accept that like most people are going to be unreliable. They just are, and so I'm going to continue to keep doing me. And I did that project, but it wasn't stopping me from doing stand up or writing or anything else. So like, I'm not. I fully anticipate every single time now. I fully anticipate people dropping the ball or not responding or just not putting in the effort.
right. Okay, so with this, so tell me that what was this project's goal, and then like where do you feel like you fall on it? Both of you, obviously.
Well, it seemed like when you came to me about it, you made a whole separate chat on WeChat. And as far as I remember, the goal was like, okay, this one's like the other one. We kind of had some people join in on it, and it was kind of like a you and him thing. And so this one was very like, oh, this is a collaborative one. And then we kind of like at the beginning threw a vibe out there of what it was gonna be, which is like very like chill millennial music or whatever. It's like centered around Los Angeles and stuff like that. And which and obviously what you were saying kind of happened where people like fell through a little bit. But I do, going back a little bit to the George Floyd thing and the riots and everything, I'll say it does kind of seem a little weird when I'll see a Facebook ad for a new song and it's about a butt or something like that. Or it is kind of like weird a little bit. It's considering also that a lot of the rap music output right now is kind of centered around what's going around. Even like the people like Lil Baby, Amigos, like people that like normally don't talk about those things, that even they are talking about those things. It is kind of weird. But so I get it when it just breaks the creativity. It just feels like inappropriate.
Yeah. It sucks because I don't even know if we should or if we should wait for a long time because it's gonna feel weird.
Yeah.
But wait for a long time on
what?
Wait for
to put this out is what you're saying?
Okay. So like you said, it switched vibes because of all the actual stuff going on in the world. Would you say like now that it has been in that vibe, like you just said, it's like why you should probably not wait, because as much as it is a specific time right now, time will make that fade out, and eventually people will want to go back to individual party music and like other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you think it exists in this phase, or do you think it would? Do you feel like it would work regardless of time period?
Yeah, I definitely don't look back on like when Amigos album dropped, like, hey, this was happening, and they released the album. What the fuck's wrong with them? Like, yeah, it is it. But yeah.
I think that if I focused in on it, and if it was just me and Dro and nobody else, yeah, we would bang. It would bang it out immediately, and the vibe would be different again. But we could totally. I don't want to do that right now because I'm trying to like calm myself. But next project, it's probably going to just be me and Dro. Dro, if you're up for it, because
definitely.
The more time goes by, the more I'm like, oh, I just need to do this alone. Clearly, like every time I try to hit people, Zero, I don't know if I told you this. I hit people up to do an ACMM, like a IE community ACMM. I posted it today. I have it's.
The one with Nick Laney's picture and other.
Oh, I just saw that.
Yeah, I didn't really read, but I saw that. Posted the
So basically, I was just like, you know what? Now that I'm building a little bit of an audience, I want them to hear that there's other comics out there that are at my level. That
I get you. Which is one of your more admirable qualities, and it really does put you in a situation a lot that it's like I can tell that it's one of those my own, like the yin yang of us is that we are very similar in that I feel your bleeding heart. That it's like I see the part of you that's like you want to help so bad, like you want to help so bad. If you keep being like I have to learn that I gotta be selfish and I gotta take care of me and I'm focused on me. But even when you're saying you're focused on me, you're like, and now I'm trying to open up the thing for the IE, and I'm like, well, that's the opposite. But it's like it is good. Like that's a good quality. It's good that you want to spread the wealth, as it were. But it is one of those, it leaves you very open and vulnerable, and I have the same thing. Yeah. So, anywho, you were saying, what was your
it's annoying, but I'm not like infuriated by it. Regardless, so I hit up a fair amount of people, and every single one was, yeah, man, yeah. And I gave a deadline, and literally all you have to do is get your phone, record for 5 minutes, and there you go. Now a little bit of my audience will see you, and hopefully latch on.
What was the thing you were?
Yeah, what were you asking?
What was the 5-minute thing?
I asked why you started comedy, what inspires you, what comedians inspire you, and one bombing story.
Oh, yeah, that's
goddamn easy.
Yeah.
So
I'd be interested to watch some of those.
Yeah, well, and I love that it's Nick and Will because you hear a really big shift when it goes the other one. Yeah. But it's like every time it's becoming fascinating to me. How is it that when asked to do something very, very simple, and when you're saying you want to be successful in an art form, how when I am doing all the work for people in many ways. I'll fuck it. I don't care. I like doing all of this. I'll do all the work. Just email me a 5-minute audio and I'll do everything else. And people don't fall. It's shocking to me.
Oh yeah. No, it's very interesting human nature psychology stuff. It's why I really like psychology and I like how people operate, because you start to notice it's conflicts, but it's like the paradoxes in ideas. Like you said, I want to be successful. I want to have the stuff, but I don't want to do literally anything. I just kind of want it.
Yeah, two things with that. I think it's like, first is a quote that I thought of, like when you were saying, like, you just want to, like, he was bringing up your bleeding heart, you just want to help people and stuff. Like, and walking dogs, it definitely solidified you can't bring a horse to a trough of water and make it drink. Like, and also like a big, like a lot of rappers, they try to bring on a lot of their buddies or whatever from like when they were growing up and try to make them put albums. It's just so like you cannot help anybody that doesn't want to help themselves. And then second, it was kind of a question, I guess, to the both of you, of that when you see kind of like people, they're in the art form you're doing and they don't do a lot for themselves. They definitely are not doing these like 5-minute videos for you or turning in verses for us. Like, does it give you confidence that like, okay, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, I'll be fine because I'm doing stuff?
I'll let
so
Aaron
like, do you first. Kind of like, all right, so in my class of freshmen right now, like I'll be fine. Yeah.
I am 100% confident I will be successful in stand-up comedy regardless of anyone else around me, including Zero. I love you, Zero. I'm sure you'll also be successful, but
listen, the people will decide.
The gavel of the people. But no, I'm 100% confident at this point. As long as nothing happens to me, nothing that is extreme. Like if I can just keep pushing along, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get successful. Like I'm selling merch now. And I have a little, like, it's super weird to say, but I actually have fans. I got real fans. It's trippy. Like, I got messages right now about ordering more shirts and shit. Like, it's happening, and it's because all of that energy that I've spread out trying to help and do all that stuff, now it's all on me. And and I don't mean this we always say this, I don't mean this in a cocky way. I mean this in a I'm working my fucking ass off way. Right. There are far more talented, the musicians that we got for this album are beyond more talented than me. And yeah, we all agree. And the comedians in the IE Like, Zero, I know you didn't meet me when I first started the buddy system, but like every single one of them was better than me, hands down better than me. The only difference was that I worked at it. That was it.
Yeah. No, excuse me.
It's kind of like what you were saying earlier.
Right. It's that thing where it's very, it's fascinating. But yeah, to piggyback off the original question, yeah, it does give me more faith because it's one of those like, yes, obviously I'm gonna work on my craft. I'm gonna make sure I'm actually good because I could just be a guy that's there doing the bare minimum and that I suck. Like I could win just on the fact that I stayed in the game long enough.
Yeah.
But out of my own personal integrity, I decide to be good at what I do. Because, yeah, you see so many people, like, again, like we're mentioning in a lot of different, and it's interesting that it works through all art forms, all walks of life, all these things, because it's human. It's humans. It's not specific to artists. It's just people. And, like, it's a thing where I know I'm going to be successful because, like, if I'm in the game long enough, you'll know my name.
Yep.
Just by the sheer fact that I'm around. And my whole act could be like, and he's the guy that goes on stage and then farts in the mic. And that's my thing. And they're like, oh, it's the fart in the mic guy. He's not funny. It's really weird, but we know him. And so we know him. And that's enough for somebody to be like, your brand is recognizable, which is weird to say, but it's like, yeah, it's like everybody, we are in a very interesting era again with the internet and all that stuff that like, it's kind of, somebody said it, I think it was some other comedian, I think it might have been a YouTuber, but he was like, weirdly enough, brands are trying to be people and people are trying to be brands. Like it's this weird dichotomy that's happening where like in posting, even like mundane people, and I think I talked about this in the last or the episode before last, where like mundane people, like somebody like Joey, just some guy at your work, has an Instagram or a Facebook. And yeah, he's not consistently putting out thought out content. He's not like, and then I have to edit my videos and all this stuff. But he's like, I went to the store today. I thought of a funny joke. Here's a meme I like. And like that is content in a weird way. Yeah. And it's like him pushing himself and people like his stuff. And it's not like he's going anywhere. It's not like it's like, oh, now Joey is on. But it is like this weird, like, we do have a branding in our internal lives and like how that works.
That's funny because it kind of reminds me of the thing, I don't know where I heard it from. Maybe it was a Drake quote, but it was all the ball players want to be rappers, all the rappers want to be ball players and stuff like that. Yeah. And then, I don't know. I do it just like him.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Drake.
I got a whole lot of
what you call it? No, but it is the same situation where they kind of want the benefits of each other's thing, and like single men, married men. But because when you're just a person like us and you're coming up and whatever, you want to come off as a brand, and it's because like it legitimizes you, that you have some sort of like corporate identity, and that like, oh, it looks like you're actually doing something, and like the people trust that they're getting a certain thing from you, at a consistent thing. And then the from companies and corporations, I think there's just this kind of distrust that we have that like definitely came about obviously with the Gen Xers and has continued on to today. Like we're very distrustful of like, even when companies put the pride logo, like colors in their logo and stuff like that, like we see that as pretty like deceitful and just like, opportunist. And I think one of the best people that's done the whole like, I'm just a person, is like the Wendy's Twitter account, where she's just kind of like fucking with people like all day. Like it's just, I think that sort of personifying and like humbling yourself down is what we respond to. I think it's just them trying to be a part of the internet culture. And like, yeah, if you don't have that, you kind of, I don't know. You seem more like a dinosaur.
Yeah. Well, in terms of getting successful and all of that, you were asking, yeah. I've been taking the Kevin Hart mentality of, this is just me versus me. This is shadow boxing. That's all this is. Like, when I talk about other people or whatever and interacting in a group and trying to work together, I always keep that in mind. It's just me versus me. But if I take myself out of that, Zero, I know we've talked about this a lot. It really comes down to me genuinely not understanding. Like when someone says, I want to be a musician, I want to be a comedian, I want to be an actor, I want to be whatever. And they say that to me. And they say it with the most sincere sounding. And I'm like, oh, you're like me, you're crazy, and you have a dream. And then give it, I shit you not, man, give it 24 hours and watch that shit disappear into the ether. Like all of that energy goes away. And I genuinely don't understand it.
Yeah, for me, I feel like I get it. I get it. I don't relate to it. It's like, I understand it. Like, because I also had those desires with different things. So my dreams, but say I wanna have abs. I want to be fit. I want to be a muscle man looking like Zac Efron. That's a want that I have.
Zac Efron is a muscle man?
Zac Efron is a hunk.
No, he is. That's not what we're talking about.
Say what you will. Let's talk about the real issues. But yeah, so I want that. But like, there's a want, and then there's like how much I'm willing to put in to get that thing. I know, logically, if I put in as much hard work and I study and I do what I need to do, I can get that body. There's nothing physically that can stop me from getting that. There's nothing actually in my world that can stop me. However, I want it as much as I want it. It's like a want. It's like a yeah, that's cool. That'd be cool to have. But like when I start doing it and then it's hard, it's like, I'd rather watch my show. I'd rather eat my thing.
That I get. Like I've done that with the audio book. I started doing it and I was like, I don't feel like doing this. And so I stopped. It makes perfect sense. That makes sense.
I remember you were uploading those, yeah.
Yeah. And I might do it again later, but it was just for fun. I'm just fucking around, like whatever. But when it comes to two things, when it comes to working collaboratively, it's now you have a responsibility for other people. So get your shit done. It's not even like I don't feel like it's like, well, now we're working as a team and you are actively fucking with other people by not doing your part. And so that part confuses me. Why then don't say yes to the project. And then the second thing that confuses me or frustrates me. And by the way, to the first thing, shit happens. Like if everyone was on point and then George Floyd hit and it just threw everything, shit happens. But before that happened, it was like, I can see this not really working. And then the second is that like people continue to say, they continue to show up, but they're not like, all right, with the 5-minute audio, like being sent to me. Super easy to do. People say that they want to be comedians. That's what they want to be.
Yes.
If you're saying you want to be a comedian or you're calling yourself a comedian, if you're given the option to do something very simple that will get your name out there more to a different fan base and develop that, why would you not do it? So that's the part that confuses me.
For me, it's and chime in if you have it.
Well, while you were saying all of that, I was kind of thinking, I think people are confusing things that they want. I think, and this is going to sound really hippy-dippy, which as I've gotten older, I find myself saying a lot of that stuff. Everybody wants to be somebody, and I am of the belief that as soon as you're born, you already are somebody. And just, yeah, you like that? All right, here's another one, buddy. Smoke this one up. So I think also people he does that really well. It's alarming. But whatchamacallit? I think people are more in love with the idea of the success that will come with the medium rather than being in love with the process or being in the medium. Like me, even though like I'm not on Billboard, I am not on a rap magazine or anything like that, I still consider myself like a successful musician in that like when work's over and when I have time and I can still sit down and enjoy what I do. And sometimes I put it out and sometimes people go, or, and like to me, and it's really just, people like, I want to be this, like just start doing it and you already are that thing. I think what you want is just a lot of people looking at you and going, "Oh yeah, that good, buddy." Like, I feel like I had another point that was similar, but I think that's it.
Yeah. I was just gonna piggyback to my version of that answer, which is I also think there's a disconnect between knowing what will help them and what will not. So there's gonna sound again like he said hippy dippy. I'm saying mine's is gonna sound very rapper-esque, where like it's like they're not been with the vision, like they can't see where it's going. So like every plan that you've put in front of people, like it hasn't become successful yet. It hasn't gone through. As of right now, it's just an idea that you have. It's just as valid as an idea that would never work.
Yeah.
So given that it could be equally like Schrodinger's cat of an idea, it works as it could be really great, it could be really sucky. They don't know that. So when they hear you, they're just like, yeah, that's a thing I could put a lot of work in, and then I just wasted my time doing that thing. Regardless of how easy or how hard it is, it's just like it could not work out. And so why would I do that instead of doing the stuff that I've seen work? So if I had to talk about it as a comedian, I would say like giving the clip, 100% valid, 100% not hard, all that stuff. But if you're a comedian and you've only ever seen the successful comedians do very specific things, and you think that that's the one route, or like that you have to do, is like, you're a stand-up comedian. All you have to do is do stand-up. That is what you do. And then you do the stand-up. And it's like, what is this marketing? What is this putting your name out there? Why do you need to go post the thing? Why do you need to have stuff on social media? Like, that's not what the art is. It should just be the art. It's kind of like a purist mindset, but like not as pure. Again, you can make arguments that that's also an excuse to not have to do the work that you want to. But like at the same time, I could see a version of this where it's just people don't want to touch things until they're already successful. And I've talked about this before. It's just like you want that. It's the same thing as like companies, brands. Everybody is the same. It's not really that different. It's like companies don't want, like, they don't offer a music contract deal to anybody anymore. Is then with the Fly, another episode of Aaron versus the Fly. The Fly is winning, but the thing with brands and record companies and anything, you want to go down the rabbit hole. Even jobs at a basic level are like, what is your work experience? We want to know that we can trust that you're going to go through it. It's like they don't want what happens to us on our level of like signing people up for a project and then they just ghost. They want the validation of, I know you're going to be about it.
And then they ask you to put down people that they can call and be like, oh yeah, this dude will do that.
Right. Yeah. And it's the same with like projects. It's the same from both ends.
Yeah.
You want to know, like, you can trust them to be a part of the project. They want to know putting their time and energy into that project is going to be worth it to
be
them.
fruitful.
Yeah, that it's going to be like all that energy. Now, to be fair, it's getting way ahead of where we are as a whole. If anybody in our lane who thinks they're too good to do certain things, I never think I'm too good to do certain things. I just personally make decisions to do other things. It's just you decide where to put your eggs in what baskets. And so it's like,
with all of that, like basically this hasn't been done before, or I haven't seen this work before, so I don't want to be a part of that. I don't know if I want to be a part of that. I totally get that. This is why I like William Henderson, is because in many situations I've asked him if he wants to do something, and the times he says yes, he fucking does them, and the time he says no, I don't have to worry about it. And that's all like, so what you're saying about like, well, I don't know if this is going to work or not. What if I'm wasting my time? That's fine. Just say no to me, so I don't have to worry about you then.
Right, but again, it's the equally parts yes and no. They can't. They're saying yes because it could be successful, but then they pull out.
It's like
having
both jerseys for both teams playing tonight.
Right. Yeah, and you're going like, well, it could, like, right now I'm a Lakers fan because they're up. Oh no, I'm a Sixers fan. I was always a Sixers fan. I'm a Lakers fan again. Oh, I'm a Lakers fan.
Yeah, I think it just goes back to basically what you're saying. I think people are just enamored more with like the end result.
Yeah.
And it's just like everything. It's just so like people don't they get the movie, they get the music, and they have absolutely no thought into what the process was.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like,
And there's no respect.
Yeah, if you ask all creators, is like, to me, the entire thing was the process, and like by the time you get to the point where you have the thing, is like, I kind of don't give a shit about it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like, it is what it is. Like, the journey was the journey, not what we get to and what you guys see. And like, yeah, and it's just interesting, and that makes me think about like, yeah, people like not wanting to totally like dive in with you to a thing. Me personally, I've been much more open to make art for art's sake, just even if it goes nowhere, because like, to me, that's just me sharpening my knives and my skill as whoever I am. But yeah, it's just interesting to see a lot of like music and movie reviews and stuff that they take in the content and then they give their take on it. And sometimes it kind of irks me that it's like, it's really dumb that they did this. I would do this better if I was doing this. And it's like, well, I think honestly the victory, and like you'll hear this a lot, especially from film directors and producers and actors, that like, yo, the win was that we made the movie.
Yeah.
Not that it did well in the box office, not that we got an Oscar, not that there's butts and seats. Like the fact that the movie, every time a movie gets made, it's a miracle, because any little bolt that gets out of place, the movie's over. Like, yeah, so that's the way that I see things. So like, success is just such a like a fleeting and something not promised to you, regardless of like how hard you work. Obviously, you work harder, you work smarter, you show up, like your chances of enjoying that success that people so seek after, it'll probably come to you. But I think it's just, it's not as this to that as people think. I think it's a lot of the universe maybe giving it to you sometimes.
The place I've gotten into now, so I'm not going to go in circles with it, because it's like, you know what, they're not going to do it, they're not going to do it. The place I've gotten to now is I'm just going to keep throwing out that net and seeing who is consistent. So like Dro and Zero, I know you guys are going to be consistent. So if I want to make music, I'm going to hit up Dro. If I want to make music, I'm going to hit Zero. If I want to work on jokes, I'm going to hit up Zero. Like, simple as that. Or Nick Laney, consistent.
Yeah, and that's why I know I've said this to you before, and I don't remember if we talked on a podcast or if we talked in like just like as us talking, but like it's so weird how much like I have faith in myself. I know I'm gonna make it. I know that via your hard work and what I've seen from you, it's no doubt that you're gonna make it. Secretly, I also hard believe in Nick Laney.
Same.
Like
Same.
as much like I think a lot of people talk mess. Like about like because he's the one clean comic in the world of dirty, and like he's super Nick Laney. Like, but like A, you know his name, and B, that boy puts in work.
Yeah,
like he does stuff, and like that him. And then there's man, I'm trying to remember his name. There's another comic who's kind of like offshoot and over to the side. And while I personally don't click with his comedy, what he does like putting out stuff, what he does, like he's consistently working on stuff or putting together shows. I'm like, dude, like that's the energy, like that's the vibe. And it's like there are some people that's like, honestly, that's the bottom line to me. Like if I was picking people that I had to like vet, it's like bottom line, are you about it? Like are you about it in a way that like when the dice are down, when the chips are down, if I put the offer on the table, will you show up to the thing? Yeah. And yes, I want you to obviously come with your best stuff. Don't show up and then do whatever. But like at the same time, it's like the fact that you would even show up to the opportunity is already leagues above what I've seen. And again, I think I've mentioned this. It's like some of that is the innate of art forms. Like, don't get me wrong, there are some art forms that are just innately more serious and like deal in like a more serious tone. Like, I don't think you could get away with what you can get away with in music or in stand-up with like acting, with like a theater play. Like I don't think you could just like not show up and not do your lines and like give a half but thing before people are quickly like, oh, you're out.
Yeah.
Like it's so one to one, but like our art forms are so loose in nature, and it's like that weird like the art form itself is to make the art form look easy.
Yeah.
Like, in both of the ways.
That's one of them.
And like because they do work hard to make it look easy, everybody looks at like freaking Little Pump, right? And they're like, I could make that song. It's stupid. Like, how did he get on? That's so dumb. He just repeats Gucci Gang a bunch. It's like, yeah, you say that. Yeah, you say you can make Gucci Gang, but go make Gucci Gang.
Yeah.
Go do a song that's that hype, that gets played like that people want to share, and then you have all of that with nothing. It's like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's like, it is a business.
Because it's also like, yeah, he was making that song. Like, he was making those songs and pushing them. Like, that's not nothing.
Right. And that wasn't his first hit. Like, he had
he had like a whole 2 years before, on SoundCloud.
You know, that's essentially, again, same with stand-up. It's like, you see people pop off, but like Kevin always says, it's like, he only started popping off 20 years into the game.
Yeah.
Like, after people started seeing him in shows and movies, and then they were like, oh, he does stand-up? And then they saw he was about it. And then he just worked hard on top of it. He also didn't do that thing where it's like, you start to get success and you just level out. You just go like, I'm good. He just continued to push as hard as he is. And he's still hitting into that ceiling that while everyone will make the joke of like, he'll do anything, or he doesn't have standards. Like, you could say that, but like, look what he doing. Yeah. like look at his life. Yeah. With what he does with stand up, and again, I'm not saying like
that shit outside of stand up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone can say like pretty unequivocally, he's an okay actor. He's good at playing him. Yeah. I've never seen Kevin Hart role where it's like, man, Kevin really did it. He really like, man, he made me feel something with that. But like, he's putting in the same effort that he put with stand up. Eventually, he's gonna hit a role. Like, you just keep rolling.
I don't doubt that. I think he was going to do that.
And all it takes is one.
I'm getting to this place where I'm like, oh, especially with the internet, if you just work hard and find your niche. That's why Nick Laney, he could do it. 100% he could do it. Because he's going to find his niche. It's so, yeah, at this point, man, like, I'm just going to keep putting my net out there, keep trying to help people, and see what happens. If you ignore me, if you bail on me, if you say you want to do something and you don't plan on doing it, if you're half-assing it, that's fine. I'm not mad at you, but I'm not going to ask you to do it again.
Yeah. Okay, so to loop it back around into music.
Oh, yeah.
What is your favorite, I'll say, project? Like what is an artist like? Album. I'll even give you can go as short as song. What is your favorite thing and why? From both of you, obviously. Okay.
That's a lot of different music, so I'm just gonna pick one.
Yeah, that's hard, right?
Well, okay, what's
what's your favorite movie?
Yeah. What's the one that hits you in the current stage of your life right
now? No Name, Kendrick, Run the Jewels, basically pro-black, like,
yeah,
and they make me fun. They'll make me feel good.
Okay, and in what way?
They make me feel like I'm not alone.
Okay,
there's definitely a correlation in all of those artists.
Yeah, they make me feel like I'm not alone, like I'm not crazy. And I had I'll describe this in as short as possible. I was doing street stand-up in Upland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very different. Very different. And
in what way?
And it was a lot. I mean, I've only done it once, but it was a lot more aggressive. Okay. It was like more conservative, but not in a like Redlands is conservative in that I'm going to go to the golf course conservative way. They wear, polo t-shirts and they get the newspaper in the morning and they have a puppy named Lassie, whatever. Where
Okay.
this was like not white trash conservative, but like I hang out at the bar all the time, and my heritage is Irish, and my family got into a lot of bar fights and shit. Like that was the vibe. And
So like NASCAR crowd.
what's up?
NASCAR crowd.
NASCAR.
Genuinely like watch the 6 hours of NASCAR in the sun.
Yeah.
I'd rather walk through a project than walk through one of those places. I feel a lot safer in one place than the other.
So I'm eventually what ends up happening is like political discussion happens. It just does. And I treat it like A to Z, where I'm always like, I channel more of your vibe, Zero, so that things stay calm.
Stop taking my vibe.
Bitch, don't kill my vibe. Anyway, so I'm talking to these two guys for a good hour and a half, I think 2 hours.
Okay.
And there's other people there who are liberal, Black Lives Matter people, and they're all being quiet and they're letting me talk. The insanity of these people. Like, I was calm and reasonable, and I got to the point where I asked, this is when it broke. This is when this guy broke. I asked him what would be, because he was saying like, well, why can't I say white lives matter and Black lives matter is racist and all lives matter? And he's just anything to try to say that I'm wrong, basically.
Yeah.
And so I asked him like, okay, how about this? Do you support peaceful protest? And he said, yes. I said, okay. So as long as a person is being peaceful, then you would support what they are doing. He said, yes. I said, okay. For 2 years, Colin Kaepernick quietly took a knee, and he didn't. He lost it, and he walked away. He got so mad. First, he said that he doesn't like Colin Kaepernick because he's Arab, and then
Because he's what? Arab?
Arab. And then I was like,
Colin Kaepernick is Arab?
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's the case.
I feel like he pulled that. Where did you get that fact?
I can see why he said that. I get, like, if Colin Kaepernick was telling people he was Egyptian, I guess I would buy it. But like, I don't know.
But regardless, so I didn't even question the logistics of it because I was like, what does that have to do with anything? And then he said 9/11. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, that's funny because that just like, it just shows that you can't talk to that person at all. Because like, even if you were to like, to fix this problem,
Yeah.
there's another huge ass leak of like, oh, just Arabs, all of them
Yes.
are 9/11. That's it. So that's just like, I can't do anything with you, bro. Because what's the next one? I was like, oh, that Mexican over there, he don't look like he got papers. Like, I don't know.
I can't get over the hard break that was like Colin Kaepernick. I don't like him because he's there. What? 9/11.
I'm blown away. Like the level of fucking stupidity of that is shocking to me. It's genuine. It is far more shocking than someone not emailing their clip in. In my head, I'm like, this is insane. And so, regardless, I'm trying to move past it. Okay. So regardless, that music makes me feel not crazy because talking with those people and having to deal with those people all the time, it makes you feel like because they're so confident in their beliefs.
Yeah.
My beliefs are very malleable. Like if you give me a strong enough argument, I'll change what I believe based off. But they're so steadfast in their own beliefs. Like in his head, it is impossible that he is wrong. Right. To the point where you're like, God damn, he must be right. Like he clearly Arabs. Clearly.
Yeah. No, it's a
9/11.
Yeah, 9/11.
9/11. That's how he ends it. It's like, amen. 9/11. That's right. 9/11. There's
Aiden is, I don't know where. Alec, where's Aiden?
Surprise.
I don't know.
She came in here. You guys talking about 9/11?
9/11.
You know, Colin Kaepernick's there.
Did you know that? I just learned it today.
so that music makes me feel like, okay, I'm not crazy. I'm not. I know I'm not crazy. This is very reasonable stuff. And Zero and I, we talked about this whole gaslighting thing my entire life. So when I talk to these people, I've been talking to them my entire life, and I've been hearing that my entire life. So I'm like, it's just like, fuck, man. Like,
yeah, your thing is very fascinating to me, just in the way that, like, again, I feel like I'm special, because again, hopefully the world opens up at some point, and I would love to be near when these things happen to you, because they're like always happening to you, and they're never happening to me. And in a weird, you want to get really weird and universal. Sometimes I know we make the whole point of the podcast is that we're very similar and whatever. Sometimes I genuinely believe that all of my black torment that was supposed to happen to me happened to you. And I just been like da 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 da, and like walking through life naive and nice, and white people have been super chill with me because all of my energy of like whatever darkness that they have that just went over to you.
It's funny that it all like bounced onto a nice dude.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah.
What was I saying? Oh no, you were saying. So that music makes you not feel alone. What about you? Are you sad?
All the time. Yeah.
We don't care about that. Anywho.
Nah. I'll admit right now I'm not like super in love with anything. Last night the labels dropped a bunch of stuff. Black has his new stuff out. Whatchamacallit, Megan Thee Stallion dropped his new song that I like. It was cool. I'm pretty open to all of it, all the music. But I do find myself, I'm more into the mainstreamy stuff, like the stuff you're gonna hear in the club, like and a lot of R&B. That's pretty much where my pocket. If like you find the playlist that I keep listening to stuff over and over again, those are the things that you're gonna find. So yeah. But as of late, why? I think it's from a technical standpoint. Like I admire like. It's so funny. I have favorite ass songs, and I cannot tell you a single lyric from them, but I can tell you the memory or mumble the like what is happening because that's the things that I'm paying attention to, and just essentially like the production, the mixing, and everything. Like I appreciate those things, and so like that can happen in any genre of music, but mostly obviously like I said, around hip hop.
Okay, what was the last song that like
the last song that hit me as a person? Whatchamacallit? I think it might have been. That seems a little early, actually.
I was on the Spotify, you guys.
Putting on my Spotify, so won't you shut the fuck up, everybody?
I didn't hear anything that was said.
He's just talking through his favorite songs, and he was talking technically, and I'm asking him, what about emotional? Like, what song recently?
Emotionally, what? Not straight in my feels, but one that I was like, okay, was Halsey's whatchamacallit?
Halsey.
Yeah, You Should Be Sad, and I just yeah. And I really like just I like the performance on there. I think it's pretty like convincing and just paired up with the instrumental. It was like, oh, okay, cool. I like some of the Selena Gomez stuff that she's put out. I like that song with Kid Cudi. And she has a song with Black on there that I really like. I'm trying to Alexa, shut up.
This isn't Alexa, is it? Do we have Alexa?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it's an Alexa.
Okay. Yeah, I always forget.
Sometimes we'll just be talking and then she who will not be named, the device, we'll just start saying information.
There's something too, and I know it's the stand-up in me, but there is something funny about like this new device being in everyone's house makes us afraid to use a name. Yeah, like it's like you're like, we don't talk about her because like then she'll say something.
I can't believe
it's a common name, so it's like, what happens with like somebody that is named that in the house, and then it's like, oh, I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to the machine. But
does that not make you guys paranoid?
A little bit.
Nah.
Oh, are you talking about like kind of like the data stuff, like them listening to us?
Overlords.
Just it's there's something about it.
Yeah. It sucks.
Y'all are talking over each other. What did you say?
Okay.
There's something about it that's creepy to me.
Oh, okay. Something about it? You can't quite pinpoint it?
It's that I know that the phone listens and is trying to get ads or whatever, but there's something especially disturbing to me about, maybe I've watched too many science fiction movies, or maybe I feel like we're going towards a direction that's pretty fucking creepy. But there's something about it I don't dig.
Okay, I get you. Again, those information could definitely be used for evil, and eventually will be if it's not already. But you know,
I think it's just super unfortunate. And, you know, another device that I kind of, the Ring device that I have on my front door, and I could watch who's coming at my door and all that
it's
stuff.
a security camera for your front door.
Yeah, and see, I just saw some suspicious people walking by, and they like to take packages. I even caught one person. I was like, "Hey, put that shit down." They were like, "Oh, yeah," one time. But yeah, it's nice to have. Like right now, I'm watching these two undesirables walking by the door.
He means it. It's real.
Make my front porch safe again.
Oh no! Oh no! Where'd you get that hat?
I just made it.
I just made it.
I bought an embroidery machine.
I
Find
might
my Etsy store. The real supporter.
I might be getting my gun today.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Oh, let's talk about this
Great.
now.
No, I was just excited. I'm scared for 4th of July.
That's
Scariest thing
yeah.
you could have ended that way.
I'm excited. A lot of things are gonna happen.
Things are gonna change now.
You guys,
Ain't nobody saying no to my comedy projects no more.
I was like, oh, people are gonna know my name.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, music. I'll say the biggest thing that's happening. It's been for a few months with me right now is the Latin music.
Yeah.
I'm super into that. Like
I
right
wonder
now.
why.
Yeah,
Racist.
super biased, but I mean,
Why don't you like country? Racist.
I like one or two things.
Oh yeah, name me two that aren't Taylor Swift.
That aren't Taylor Swift. No, what's just fucking Luke
Yeah, you can't
Evans
even remember
is
his
one.
Say his name.
Luke Evans.
That'd be the
No,
wackest.
actually, it's Luke Combs. Sorry, I messed it up.
Wow.
Sorry, Luke Combs.
You were saying.
But nah, I'm super into what they're doing. It's like, it's really interesting that like a music from Puerto Rico, like reggaeton, just in general, like just that very
Can you say
small.
reggaeton without rolling your R?
Reggaeton. It sounds weird. Reggaeton. That sounds like
I can't roll my
reggaeton.
R's. That's really just me being jealous.
But yeah, it's just weird that this like from a small country, this music is like the most listened to thing on the planet. Like if you haven't hit in Latin America, you already are guaranteed. Like you're pretty much all over Europe right now. Because it's funny. What was it? 2 summers ago, we went to Italy. We spent a week in Italy, and like literally the shit that was blaring out everybody's car and all the fucking gelato shops and everywhere we went was like a bunch of Bad Bunny, J Balvin.
Oh,
Ozuna.
we got 30 seconds.
It was
so it's gonna end. And
yeah,
we're
but
gonna
that's
come out
what I'm
on
into
my
right now.
So if you're in the live, just give us a second. We're gonna come back in, wrap this whole shenanigan up. We're back.
So, music. Yeah, Dro, if you're up for it, I want to take some time for all this to cool off, but I'd be down to make a project just you and me.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I told you. I feel like we should do that because it just seems like, I mean, what we've been saying, the more ingredients you add into this, the more unreliable those ingredients become. And yeah, I think when things die down a little bit, and I don't know how you feel about even releasing the thing that we did. Like, I am gonna finish it just because like, I'm forcing myself to become a finisher.
Yeah.
And just I don't think it'd be completely inappropriate to release it because just the themes that we do talk about on this album is like just happenstancely what's going on. Like, and what's going on are things that have always been. And so you just happen to be talking about them. So I don't think it would be completely out of place to do it, but I obviously understand if you think otherwise. But I think it should be a second before we dive into the next thing. I'm up for
posting it. I would like to do it, and I would like to treat it kind of like Kendrick Lamar's Untitled Unmastered, where we express to people like shit hit the fan while we were trying to do this, and we were just, and it just here's some music. Hope you enjoy it. Plus, I got those other two youngsters on the songs, and I don't want to not post it because they're gonna be like, well, I wanted to be in the. So yeah, I'm down to post it. I just want to treat it kind of like unmastered.
I'm down with that because I personally want to post it just because it's just a like, hey guys, I was working on a thing. Here's the thing. Like to me that would be a little bit of closure on that.
Yeah, same. Was there anything else before I had to eat breakfast and then I'm mailing more merch.
Okay.
Sick.
Way to sell out the podcast for your merch. Cool.
Where are you mailing like this stuff up to? Like, what have you found is your reach, or is pretty much wherever?
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Asked you a serious ass question, bro. But whatchamacallit, what would you say your? Sorry, my dog is having a dream and she's yipping.
Callie, it's not real, bro.
I know. She just woke up. But what would you say your reach is so far? Is it mostly like SoCal? Where are you mailing these off to? Is it pretty sporadic given because it's the internet and it could be anybody?
Redlands.
That's still some.
My plan is to. All right. Here's my plan, baby. Here's my plan.
Yes,
I built up in Redlands to the point where they're like, fuck you. What's happening?
He's just like Redlands for no reason. I was just like, what?
No, it's. I've never been.
And isn't that every stem of hatred ever?
Yeah.
I have no idea what that place is, but I assume it sucks. Sorry, go ahead.
So built up in Redlands, and now when I go out there, it's everyone there knows me. So I'm like, okay, time to move somewhere else. So now I don't know if I'll continue in Upland, depending on how things go. But did an Upland, build up from there, and then by the time I get booked at like the Ice House or whatever, I should have a big enough following to where they would actually come to see me at a comedy club, and then the comedy club will notice that and then book me again. As the audience grows, it won't be the same people, hopefully, and then I can grow from there. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Sounds bueno.
Isn't that what really matters at these comedy clubs?
Yeah.
That
their whole thing is butts and seats.
Well, it's just funny, like, you guys say, I mean, there are kind of like things that only happen in our respective mediums, but stand-up comedians, I like super see as rappers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, is so like such a parallel race that you guys are running to mine. Yeah, just because it is like self-starting. There's stars. There's mid-tier.
We release albums.
Yeah,
we have fans.
Yeah,
fuck bitches.
I mean, we got
sometimes
groups.
Underage bitches.
Listen, we don't talk about that. That's between us and the media.
But yeah, that's.
But yeah, that's cool. That's a good plan. I believe in you. Do you have any projects?
Fucking god damn it! What?
What? No.
Fucking fly!
Family of raccoons that keeps trying to move in.
Get out of here.
But me personally, yeah, man, I'm gonna sound like a fucking hippie dip. I've been working on my garden with my wife. And
okay, hold on, time out. I didn't mean like life stuff. I meant like things that the audience would interact with.
I mean, like, I'm gonna be posting videos.
Nobody care about the garden with your wife.
They do.
Everybody's like, oh man, tell us how that garden.
You know what I bought today? 250 red worms. And they're gonna be composting for me.
Y'all hear that, you guys? Freaking red worms. But that's the new vibe.
As far as music, I bought like a bunch of. I think I told you, Aaron. I bought like a bunch of equipment to finally actually like get studio quality sound here at the house. And obviously, when you're ready to do the thing, like I can just have you here. And like to me, I feel like it's more successful when like I'm there and the artist is there instead of the back and forth, just because like I can coach you through certain things, especially since I've been in the situation before. But as far as that, I think I'm gonna start like recording music and putting it out myself and stuff like that. I'm not really gonna be worried about putting out whole projects, more so just making things, and hopefully my goal would be to at least like once or twice a week release a thing and not make a big deal out of it. Some I'll put up on ads, some I'll push, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
what
blah.
happened to the other artists that you were? Are they still in the picture? Are you still doing it?
I think one of them I did do a few stuff with things. His name is Ty. His Instagram handle is here's the guy. He got really lucky and snagged that up while it existed. But he's a great singer, and right now we're working on a project. It was a matter of like the COVID thing. Everyone was kind of like, oh, we can't hang out with the studio space anymore. And now that I have a studio space here at the house, we're pretty much gonna get together and try to complete that project. So yeah, you guys will probably hear that sooner than later.
Yeah, when things calm down, I'm definitely down to start up another project.
So what is the name of the project that you guys are releasing right now?
I don't know. It's been under the working title like LA Millennial Project.
Okay, and do you have any estimation of when you would actually like put it out, or you just like whenever?
I want to say, because I'm literally gonna finish it like this weekend. So I don't know this week if you're down to do that. Because I'm fine with this being kind of like a quiet release. We make a few posts about it and stories and every once in a while and stuff like that. I'm fine with that too.
All right, so everybody, we're gonna wrap it up here then. Keep a lookout for their project, which doesn't have a title yet, but should be dropping at some point either during this week or next week. But it should be great. They got a lot of great songs on there from what they did work on and what they're putting together. Aaron, you can find him all around. Apparently, again, he's gonna be in Upland doing more street stand-up
Getting
stuff.
yelled at.
Having more merch in his office, so hit him up for that. You could find us all individually. First, Dro by the Key at Dro by the Key on Instagram.com. That's DROTHEBYKEY. You can find Aaron at Instagram at AaronChase91. And you can find me on Instagram at 0_KRAnime. And you can find this podcast, probably the same place you're watching it, is Buddy System Comedy on YouTube. You can find this episode, all the episodes we've done before it, except for that one that I forgot to record. But besides that, you can find my stand-up and all my stuff if you just Google search Zero Remsen or YouTube search Zero Remsen. And same with these guys, I assume you can Google their names and SEO will do the job. But thank you for tuning in for another episode of A to Z. We appreciate you. See you on the flip. Later.
9/11.